Welcome back, everybody, to the OPT Network. You know, whenever we're talking about politics, I always like to give this disclaimer that OPT is apolitical. We'll never tell you who to vote for, but we always try to bring the candidates in so that you get a feel for who they really are and why they're asking you to hire them. So if you rewind back, you'll remember that we had Luke Letlow on. He won the 5th Congressional District seat. But sadly, he got COVID-19. He died. That seat is now open. And running for that seat is Candy Christophe. She is a local businesswoman. She's a clinician, and she is a community servant. And she joins us this morning to talk about what you need to know if you hire her. It's a special election, and it's going to be this Saturday. Candy, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. A lot of information. We sat with Luke Letlow right here, literally right here on this set. We talked about all of the issues. We talked about his passion. And we also talked about COVID-19. And sadly, he was another one of COVID's victims. And so now we go back to this special election. Talk about this time around and what you want people to know about Candy Christophe and what you bring to the 5th Congressional District.
Not a problem at all. I have openly disclosed initially in 2019 when I ran for this position that I felt led to do so. And after the passing of the late Congressman-elect, I went into prayer again and asked God, are you through with me with this assignment? Have I completed what you would have for me to do? And what I got from him was not over, not over, not over. And my way, I know that this is his will for me to continue to serve. You're absolutely right. I have been a servant of the community. I'm not new to this. I am true to serving our people and to being a change agent in the community. I'm a business owner of multiple businesses. And so I know what it's like for employees of small businesses. And I know what it's like to be an employee. So employers and employee position, I definitely bring that experience to the table. As a nonprofit founder of Reentry Solutions, I know what it's like from the nonprofit perspective to be able to budget off that little amount, as well as to be able to get out there and hit the streets and knock on doors for the cause that you believe in that is needing additional help.
What I love most, though, Candy, that you've done, that I've witnessed in this community, is you have been able to go to all sectors of the community and bring people together on issues that are important, issues like reentry. And that has been a real issue, that so many people come out of prisons and out of jails and are seemingly unemployable. And that you really took that on as a ministry.
Yes. And that's how it was given to me. Psalms 142:7, bring my soul out of prison that the righteous shall surround me. For you, God, shall deal bountifully with me. And I really believe that everybody is my somebody. Think about that. Everybody is my somebody. I believe that's the way it is meant to be. I believe individually and collectively, we are charged with making this world a better place. And I know that we can. We have to unite. Now, that's where those social work skills come into play at, and that training, because being able to solve complex problems in heated situations is exactly what that training in social work does. Being able to connect with people with various views in heated circumstances, those type of skills is what I'm going to bring to the table as your next congressional representative. And I cannot say enough how it's going to take all of us to be able to do it. I have a set plan, which is going to set us on the right path. It's called Strengthening Economies Together, and where we will collectively look at our individual parishes and what are the needs of the persons in those parishes, as well as the collective body of constituents in that parish. We'll set out our goals and our objectives. initiatives. And then in phase one, we will be developing our foundation so that we can get those MOUs, memorandums of understandings, and those partners at the table so that we can make the change that we want to see. I'm taking that clinical perspective that I've applied in my business and have been successful. And now I'm applying it at this level. And I know we will have that same and greater level of success by doing it together.
So here's what I want you to talk about, because a lot of people that are going to watch this and are listening to this conversation might be saying, why is it important for me to stop what I'm doing on a Saturday and go and vote in this particular election? What is it that I gain as a constituent by having a congressman that is going to work on mine, my community, my family's behalf?
My dad has always said, if you're not at the table, you'll be on the table. And when we look into our communities and we see issues that continue to plague our communities, in Tallulah, we have people that have water issues. In our communities, we have farmers that are dealing with the same issues that my grandfather had when he was farming. And things just don't seem to be changing. When you look at your tax dollars, whether you are buying a bottle of milk or a gallon of gas, or whether you're buying a bar of soap, you pay taxes on that. The bulk of those taxes go to our federal government in Washington, D.C. And a percentage of those taxes stay here and go to our state and our local municipalities. If you can think of the monies that everybody spends on taxes going to Washington, D.C., where it's all into a bank and or into our Federal Reserve, and it's their holding. Well, the slices of that pie as to who get the money is determined by our census and how much they get, where it is delivered to, who gets to eat of that pie, that slice of pie, who gets to eat off of it, where it's going to. Those resources, those tax dollars that we all pay into is determined by who you have representing you. And if you're looking at your community and you're saying this and that needs to be done and this and that needs to change, and it's been that way for a long time, that's because we get the same thing when we don't change our congressional
we keep putting the same things in and somehow hoping for a different result, but it doesn't happen. Let's do this, Candy. Let's take a break here. And on the other side, we'll come back and we'll talk about this very vast district 5, and we'll talk about people going out to vote on this Saturday. You make a decision about the leaders that we send to Washington, D.C., and what they will do and our best interest, how it will be represented in Washington, D.C. Candy Christophe is our guest this morning. She is a candidate for the 5th Congressional District seat. Stay on point. We're back right after this. Welcome back, everybody, to the OPT Network. Our guest this morning is Candy Christophe. She is a candidate in the special election that is happening this Saturday for Congressional District number 5. And Candy, being an entrepreneur and needing monies so often for your nonprofit, needing monies for your business, talk about the stimulus package that we see now.
Well, I want to say to everyone that the stimulus package that was just passed, the $1,400 that will be in your account, realize that who sits at the table to represent you will determine whether you got that and whether you will continue to get help you need from your tax dollars. Every Republican voted against you getting that $1,400. And if we had the Republican Party in the majority, you wouldn't have gotten that help that I know that you need, that I see that you need. This is why it is so important that you have someone that understands your needs and where your lack is and willing to take your tax dollars and put where you need it to be to help improve the quality of life for you and your children and your grandchildren now. It matters who's sitting at the table to represent you.
And so with that said, that stimulus check is going into accounts, but you have also seen businesses, we all have, that have closed
Yes.
because of COVID, businesses
Yes.
that are still struggling, and those business owners wondering if their business will be able to survive. What do you say to
Yes.
those people?
And I'm saying in this package, in this 1.9 rescue package, it also has monies in there for businesses as well. I, as a landlord and as one that have a small businesses, I understand the struggles. I understand them. I know what it's like to pay taxes. I know what it's like to make a loan to be able to pay your taxes. And I understand those intimate struggles. And I'm saying we can have both. So often people want you to think that it's either or. Either we have a strong economy or we take care of our people and we put people first. I'm here to tell you that our God is so wise and has so much grace that he will allow us to have both.
Mm-hmm.
We can have a strong economy and still take care of our people. We can have both.
And so 24 parishes. Let's speak to those parishes, Candy, and what you want people to know about going out this Saturday, or the people that just really hadn't thought about it, didn't know about this special election.
For those that don't know that it's a special election, I want to say, wake up, wake up. It's a special election. And for those of you who know it already, make sure you tell everybody you meet, even in the grocery stores. Make sure that your household, your extended household, your church, and any organization that you are affiliated with, whether it's trail riding, whether it's motorcycle club, whether it's a girls group, sorority, fraternity, any group you are affiliated with, make sure that they go and vote. This February, we celebrated history from those who've gone before us, and they paved the way for us to celebrate the freedoms that we have. But this March is our turn to make history. And those who believe that your tax dollars should not go back to you to help you are counting on you not going to the polls this Saturday. And when you don't go to the poll, it says to them, I like what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. It's okay with me.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing changes if nothing changes. But if you're ready for change in your community, if you're ready to make this world a better place and do your part, you've got to go to the polls and vote. This Saturday, you've got to. Wear comfortable shoes so that you can go to vote.
Talk about the fact that right now in Washington, D.C., they're trying to change the way that people are allowed to vote.
Yes. As a matter of fact, there is a push to do away with mail-in ballots, even though we're in a pandemic. This is the way that voter suppression continues, because they realize that if you do exercise your voice and vote, then they may be voted out. There was a congressman just the other day said that they need to start looking at the quality of vote.
Wow.
The quality of vote. Now, if that doesn't sound Jim Crow, what does? Every person is valued and valuable and worthy, and as a United States citizen has a right to cast a vote.
In your mind, what did that mean? We need to look at the quality of the vote. What does that mean?
That meant that they lessened certain votes. They lessen the quality. If you indicate that we need to look at the quality, then that means that there in their mind is a lesser quality somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he's saying that they want to look at the quality of vote. And I'm saying everybody is my somebody. It doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank, what color your skin are, or what party you are affiliated with. Everybody has worth and everybody's vote is the same. Carlette, the problem is when you have one set of rules for one people and you have another set of rules for another group, it's unfair.
Mm-hmm.
It's wrong. And when we get elected officials who think that one person's vote has more quality and substance and stamina, and we should get away with those that they consider as less than quality, we're headed for trouble if they're at the table representing us.
Absolutely. And so Candy, on this Saturday, we want to again just encourage everybody to go out. What are the numbers saying about people and the turnout? The early election started on the 6th of March. How did that look in terms of
It
people
looked
showing up?
good for us, especially during the latter part of the week. We know that we have 25,000 more Democrats on the rolls, but some of those may skew Republican. We always want to operate as if we're behind the eighth ball. And so we don't want to take anything for granted. Get to the polls. I cannot stress it enough. It matters. And not just enough. As a state, Louisiana being last in everything important and everything that is good and quality, I think it's time for us to send a loud signal to the world that Louisiana is not asleep, that the people in Louisiana are woke, and the people in Louisiana cares who sits at the table and whether or not they will speak up and fight for them.
There you go. Candy, what's your number on the ballot?
I'm number 16 on the ballot. Candy Christophe for Congress.com is our website. Our office is located right here at 1617 Branch Street in Alexandria. And we also have a Cash App. If you can't get out and do, but want to help in some small way, Cash App is easy. $ Candy for Congress. Candy for Congress.
There you go. Candy Christophe, best of luck on this Saturday's special election. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Indeed. Hey, everybody, stay on point. We're back right after this.